Hey guys, welcome back. So just before we get into our talks on the multiversal war, we gotta talk about the Avengers 1 million BC for a little bit. And really, just so their role in the beginning makes more sense, this video is gonna be like the bridge between the reveal of Thor's mother and Avengers Assemble Alpha. So with that said, let's get into it. But first, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to catch the spills every week, and don't forget to hit that bell up top for all notifications so we can squad up in the comments for the first hour. Alright, so for this one, we begin in the 1 million BC era, with Agamotto, the Sorcerer Supreme at the time, checking out a disturbance in a cave. And though he's aware the primitives can spook quite easily, he still goes in to check it out. And what he ends up finding is one of the local cavemen, overwhelmed by a horde of otherworldly mind maggots. And even still, with seeing this isn't too strange for Agamotto, because to him, with being the world's first Sorcerer Supreme, he's constantly protecting humanity from all sorts of bizarre and otherworldly threats. So with him finding this caveman, this guy, he takes him back to his Sanctum Sanctorum, which is a volcano, which I gotta say is not too bad of a choice if you don't want anybody just running up in there. But nonetheless, with him bringing this guy in, Agamotto is able to make sure that he removed all the parasites while also stitching this man's soul back up to avoid him later having any spiritual infections. Which right there, man, dude, you got soul stitches. Like, how you so messed up, you gotta get your soul stitched back together. That's deep. But also Agamotto admits, being the world's first and only Sorcerer Supreme, it can be a thankless job. It could be a friendless job. It could even be lonely at times. But with how he sees it, it at least gives him something to do. It keeps him occupied. And here, when he's done helping this caveman and stitching his soul back up, he even goes as far as to share different herbal recipes with the local people so that they can heal themselves or even expand their minds, with hopes that mankind will develop some form of gratitude in the centuries to come. But while Agamotto is out here sending this guy back to his village, he suddenly senses that he's not alone. So he does a revealing spell to see who's there, and it's none other than Mephisto, who shows up giving Agamotto a bit of a spoiler concerning humanity and them ever showing signs of gratitude by telling Agamotto at best they'll call him a devil-worshipping warlock and burn him at the stake. But really, who cares about what other people think? Because it's truly about how you feel about yourself, which starts with taking care of yourself. And to help with that, I want to tell you guys about this video sponsor, Manscaped, who's offering a great deal on the Performance Package 4.0. And to give you a preview of what to expect, your kit will come in a box like this with a note up top saying that your balls will thank you. It includes the Lawnmower 4.0, which has a ceramic blade for a safer shave. It's waterproof so you can use it in the shower, and it has a bright LED light so you can make sure you ain't miss a spot. It's also easy to charge with a dock that comes included, so you can get up to 90 minutes on the full battery. You'll also get the Weed Whacker 2.0, nose and ear hair trimmer, which is probably my favorite part of this kit, because it also has a little ceramic blade inside, spinning at 7,000 RPM, which is a lot safer than sticking little scissors up your nose. On a full charge, you'll get 45 minutes runtime, which is plenty, and it comes with a charging cable, which is USB Type-C. You get your crop preserver, ball deodorant, crop reviver, ball toner spray for all-day odor protection, or if you just need to freshen up in a pinch, you'll get your anti-chafing boxers, t-shirt, and a nice travel bag in case you need to pack everything up. So go to manscaped.com today to get 20% off plus free international shipping when you use my promo code DSPILL20 at checkout. So that's 20% off with free shipping using promo code DSPILL20 at manscaped.com. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. So with Mephisto showing up, Agamotto's aware that he has something to do with the increased amount of strange activity. So he asks Mephisto, what is he up to now? Because at this point in the past, Agamotto has defeated Mephisto a number of times before. But instead of Mephisto just laying out his whole plan and what he's up to, he tells Agamotto to use those magical eyes. Those eyes of Agamotto to see what happens next. And right away, Agamotto begins to see countless worlds across the multiverse being ravaged, and the great heroes of prehistory on those worlds who were much like his Avengers 1 million BC, slaughtered, with the future of their worlds completely changed. Which, for the record, aside from us knowing that these things are true, keep in mind for Mephisto, he's only sharing this information by way of telling Agamotto to take a look because he wants him to know this for a number of reasons, which we'll talk about as they unfold momentarily. But the first is made pretty clear when Mephisto asks Agamotto what happened to his Avengers, which right here is where we more or less get the news that the Avengers 1 million BC had broken up. which is something that happened as a result of the stunt that Odin pulled in the Avengers 1 million BC one-shot with his surprise wedding for the Phoenix, which she wasn't too happy about. And really, this stunt was more like the hair that broke the camel's back, because prior to this they had already lost their Black Panther, which didn't make the Avengers 1 million BC break up, but it definitely got them closer to it, with it showing how little Odin cared about mortals and the Panther people at this time moving into isolation while telling the heroes to forget they ever existed. And I'll leave a link in the description for anyone who needs to get caught up and get more of the details of how the Avengers 1 million BC broke up. But again, with Mephisto coming here, he drops that bit of information on Agamotto, and then Mephisto tells him that it was 312. 312 is the amount of times that they fought before, where Agamotto made him look like a fool. So needless to say, Mephisto also had a bit of incentive to shake Agamotto up, alongside of him delivering this message. But after this clash with Mephisto, a very worn out and exhausted Agamotto, who's nearly freezing to death, is found by the prehistoric Ghost Rider. And for a moment they catch up a bit, with Ghost Rider telling Agamotto about his recent escapades, like when he came across this one guy who told his tribe that he spoke for the Great Light in the sky, and how the Great Light told him that he was the only guy in the tribe who was allowed to breed, and the tribe went with it. But things like this just had the prehistoric Ghost Rider thinking how at one time he believed if he served enough penance, humanity would rise above its nature. But over the years, that just doesn't seem to be the case. And with him knowing that Agamotto can see the future, he asked Agamotto, will it ever change? Will sin ever end? And Agamotto tells him, no it won't. Because the more that mankind grows and spreads, the more new ways they will devise to slay and defile one another. And hearing this gets the prehistoric Ghost Rider a little heated, no pun intended. And he asks Agamotto if he has any idea how much torment he has to endure to be this. So his next question is why? Why is he doing this? Why is he giving so much to a fight, to a war, that the wizard is saying that they'll never win? And Agamotto just doesn't have that answer. So not long after, Agamotto goes to see the Iron Fist, and she gives him a bit of advice, telling him that perhaps the problem is that he sees too much, and if his eyes are constantly on the horizon, then he's gonna miss what's right at his feet. And she goes on to let him know, in spite of humanity having the capacity to destroy themselves and eventually make ruin of the entire planet, humanity may surprise them, but they'll never know unless they fight for humanity to have that chance. And Agamotto goes on to tell her that he understands that she's been carrying on that fight, and she lets him know that she's also picked up some new allies along the way. As the prehistoric Moon Knight walks up with the mean mug because he don't know if Agamotto's a friend or a foe. So Agamotto tells the Iron Fist his concerns for what's to come, and she tells him that she'll be there, whatever the fight, and he appreciates hearing that because he's gonna take all the help that he can get. So next he makes his way to go find the big guy, the prehistoric Starbrand, who sought out isolation after the band broke up, because though these heroes were forged through suffering one way or another, some of them make peace with it like the Iron Fist, and for others like the Starbrand, that pain is just constantly tearing them apart. So initially when Agamotto shows up, he offers to take away Starbrand's memories, just the ones that are causing the pain. But Starbrand, he doesn't want to let go of the pain. Instead, he wants to make others feel it, and he wants Agamotto to point him to the ones who need to feel it, which pretty much means Starbrand is ready to come back and fight what's coming. So next, Agamotto makes his way to the Panther people, who since the loss of their Black Panther, Mosi, they've gone into isolation up in the mountains, and when they see Agamotto, they just greet him with one word, and it's no. So next, Agamotto makes his way to Asgard, where Odin's just been drinking and thinking, and really he doesn't care who they fight, he just wants to get out. Because with the recent birth of Thor, it's been thunder day and night. So Odin really just wants an excuse to catch a break. And though he agrees to come back down to Midgard and help, he still believes that humanity doesn't deserve it. And with him agreeing to go with Agamotto, Odin lets him know that he has one condition, which is that the Phoenix cannot be there, because she is not welcome in his presence ever again. And Agamotto's just like, well, he would tell Odin that they need all the help they can get, but as it stands, the Phoenix has already left Earth, so it doesn't even matter. And now with the new team assembled, including the addition of prehistoric Moon Knight, Agamotto goes on to tell them how the other day the Ghost Rider asked him, why do we bother to do what we do when no matter how hard we fight, the war will not end? And he goes on to say that he could tell them that they are heralds of an age of wonders, and how they'll pave the way for other heroes to step in and protect the Earth. But Agamotto's like, no, I'll just show you. and as they all look up, they see the modern day Avengers who have just made their way back to the prehistoric past after chasing Mephisto back in time all the way here to what is also known as the prehistoric Genesis point. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support, and for anyone who's new here who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/Dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.